Yeah, for sure. Let's get into the vetoes and see what 3 maps we'll be playing today between EP and Man LFO. Of course, we've seen 5 different maps already from Enterprise across the 5 different maps that they have played. They've actually played different maps for each one so far, which means that they have revealed they have a pretty deep map pool. We've only seen 3 maps out of Man LFO. In contrast, Cafe, Man LFO's pick, one we haven't seen from them as of yet, but EP 7-0'd Anios on. Then Enterprise are going to go pick Bank, a map that we also haven't seen out of Man LFO, and should we need it, Clubhouse, a map we also haven't seen out of Man LFO. So this is really exciting. Man LFO have really hidden their strats.
Yeah, this can go one of 2 ways. Either they've been hiding strats and they are so well prepared, EP not gonna have an idea of what's gonna be happening, or they're not prepared for these maps at all and they're gonna get run over. But I'm curious to see, because EP, I mean, they've been expected to be the top dogs for this kickoff, and they gotta show us right here today that they can lock themselves into that grand final.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to dig into it right now. It is Man LFO's map pick first up, and man, they were ballsy, taking Enterprise to Cafe, a map that we know Enterprise like very much. In fact, the last time they played it, they didn't even lose a goddamn round. It is the Titans of OCE going up against the only team in Man LFO that hasn't yet dropped a map. Let's dig into it. It's time to see what the GOATs of OCE have to offer.
Now, when you're talking about EP and the star players and the fracking capabilities, after speaking to Nate especially, right, saying about the discipline for the side of Chiefs and having, you know, Chiefs play EP players kind of mixing back and forth and whatnot, I could be worried about discipline here when it comes to Enterprise. You know, if they have too easy of a game, too easy of a round, are they going to stop making some silly plays in game? Because we've seen Tuan, we've seen Jiggy, we've seen Cairo. These are 3 people, 3 players who can very easily ego challenge, overswing, and make a very winnable round and a little bit more turbulent. But that's where I look at players like your Brendo, like your Bappin, who to me can have a little bit of that more. Guys, come on. Okay, let's not swing this alone, let's swing it together. Go 3, 2, 1, here we go. And hopefully direct those pushes a bit more coordinated. Starting on a tertiary, not something that we see every single day, and it's not even the strongest tertiary on paper. It's actually going to be the mining and dining bomb site. It plays a bit more about the verticality, the plant denial, playing both the top floor and the bottom floor, kind of sandwiching in that bomb site. And they can do that by playing pulse on one floor, solos on the other, and get a ton of different kinds of information, and always pressuring those C4s from beneath.
Yeah. I love a little bit of an unorthodox bomb site choice. Look, when you've got a date in the upper bracket with Man LFO, you got to wine and dine them. Got to mine and dine them. Got to take them to a little bit of a special place. So I like the idea. Now, elephant in the room here, if you've been watching OCE this stage, you will have noticed, who the hell are Mikasa and Eren? Well, unfortunately, Tuhan and Jigsaw have decided to really mess with us. So Tuhan is playing on his account, which he's renamed to Eren, and Jigsaw has renamed his account to Mikasa. So, yeah, there you go.
Not confusing at all, by the way. Oh, a lot of killing happening. Rather, 100 elements take down a player each. All of them starting off very quickly here on Cafe. A map that often is hard to get in the building and get a bit of map control, but not for this one. And it's gonna leave the bomb site a bit weaker. Like I said, you wanna sandwich the bomb site in from all the floors together. Well, when you lose the entirety of top floor, you know, the top of that sandwich is gone now. They can start getting pressured more and more and more, forcing other pulls to fall back into the bottom floor for a C4, or maybe not even be able to use it at all. Because if he stays here on the primary floor, there's very few C4s that can work.
Big opening kill. Man LFO have a lot of control. The Lion locks them in place. Elements in a good spot as well to cut this bomb site apart. Mikasa on for a bit of a flank. He's still got 1 impact to go. So much information gathering here on the defensive side. And Mikasa actually does find the pick as well, flanking from down below. But with Hunter taking down Cairo, it's just up to these 2 brand new names on the Enterprise roster. Eren with the shotgun, but gets outplayed by Sharky. Mikasa 1v3. Doesn't have a lot of information. The last Lion scan goes out. Good headshot onto Sharky. Doesn't get the bite, but he spells blood in the water. Mikasa, bit of damage onto Hunter. Beers and Hunter got to play this perfectly. One more smoke in pocket. These two-man LFO players cannot afford to make any mistakes. And remember that as the Solus, Mikasa's got information here. If he starts to hear that plant, he can get his gadget out and know exactly where it is. Walks into the gridlock tracks for a brief moment. Pre-fire doesn't find its mark. 30 seconds and a big swing. Don't give him a fight. We know how good this player is. He wants to go for the 4K here. And it looks like Man LFO are actually completely regrouping. They dropped the diffuser in the bomb site. They're trying to outplay him. They're trying to play mind games with him, but I think he's read it. He knows where one of them is. But Hunter snipes him in the long angle. Great work with that AR, and Man LFO get the first round.
I mean, a very good try from Jigsaw, but honestly, it's so well disciplined there from Man LFO. They were so like afraid essentially of throwing the round, and they were afraid in a good way. They completely reset it. They were trying to figure out, are we gonna go for plant? Are we gonna go for kill? Do we push them the same side? Do we push them two different angles? And they kept on rotating. And there is this kind of way of playing, you know, 2v1s for example. We kind of bleed out your opponent. Because when you're Jigsaw and you get that first kill, adrenaline is building, and you're gonna be like, let's say in peak form. If you just like burn the guy out on time, you spend 30 seconds doing nothing, that adrenaline, it starts to go away. That's when you're gonna be at your worst. And then you re-enable the aggression, you re-fight him back when he has a worse chance at winning. It's not always something that happens consciously from your opponent, but you can actually utilize that from a mental perspective, saying, hey, this guy's fired up right now, let's just bleed him on time, 30 seconds, he's gonna be out of it, and then we re-aggress. So Man LFO start off strong, strong start, strong finish, they get the first round.
Look, Cafe is a hard map to attack, so to start with such a strong round, especially with an early two-player lead, very good signs here for Man LFO. Like I said, none of the three maps in this veto have actually been played by Man LFO so far. They've only played Lair, Chalet, and Consulate. And of course the three maps in the veto, Cafe, Bank, and Clubhouse. We've seen Bank and Cafe from Enterprise. They won both times. Bappin on for a roam on the top floor gets cut off. Well played by Pluto. Great usage of the drone as well to call information. Enable that early pick and to bait Bappin into being in an exposed position.
Stevo goes out, doesn't find anything. Enterprise is seemingly running around the building looking for something, and Kyra does find it. Hunter goes down, the only heart breacher on the attack that is ranged at least. They do have the can openers from the sense. But Ebit is taking the gunfights at the minute. Not playing too worried about the fallback, the bombs at the plant now. They want to fight them back first. They got the dining hatch open up, they can go for a hatch drop. They're under so much pressure on both White Stairs Repel and reading bomb site, or reading boom rather. Yeah, forced to drop.
I feel like this is a happy scenario here for Man LFO, except for the fact that Kyra is still alive. They do need to deal with him quickly, ideally without losing a player. Brendo on for a flank, finds a double kill for Brendo. Great usage of the yokais as well from Aaron, giving information constantly to these roamers. Pluto's the last one alive. Kyra downed, but not out as of yet. This is very winnable now for Pluto. If he can get that diffuser back again, it becomes a 1v2 as Brendo gets back to side to support Aaron. And I'm pretty confident here there's not going to be a revive. Indeed, Pluto finishes him off. He can now pick up a flashbang as well. Plenty of gadgets he can scavenge on that roam. 1v2, extremely winnable.
Also, the red wall is opened up, so he has a ton of different angles to work with. He jumps on in, risky angle. Go fire, pop down to a single point of health. Crossfire here. Outside. Is there a crossfire? There is. Brendo watches it. EP lock in their own first round, making it even 1-1.
Still a very close round, but a great roam game there from Enterprise. A lot of confidence, and I like the way they did it with information. Mute jammers to support that roam, critically the Echo drones as well. Bit of an ego game there from EP.
Yeah,
Man LFO did not have the ingredients to execute their plan A because they didn't even get a chance to do so because EP took the fight to them first.
It's the classic game of disruption. It's funny because Cafe is... It's one of the few maps where we don't see defenders necessarily trying to disrupt the attackers that often. often this plays out about, you know, piano and playing behind the Asami and the castle and the utility. But Man LFO has banned away both the Asami and the castle, like I mentioned, and it's kind of forcing Enterprise into a different play style. You can no longer just play for piano control or freezer or playing in your corners. You have to play much more proactive, play either vertically, C4s, go for runouts, and again, disrupt your opponent. Otherwise, strategically, you're not going to have many ways to win this. And I think this, if you're wondering why they're playing so aggressive, this could just be the reason why. And we see here, they're doubling down on intel, both the Valkyrie and the Pulse. 4 C4s. It's very evident what the strat is here. They want the attackers to go in above, and they want to C4 them from below. And that's it.
I love it. You got 3 info ups defeated as well. And another thing I love is the mute. People underrate how good the mute is at just slowing down teams. You pick that mute, and immediately you're going to have a lot more people standing around droning because their drones are much slower to get through. So you spend a lot more time faffing about. Bappen's just found a kill on Beers, peeking out these piano windows. That's a big one. No more Lion. Tons of info for Aaron as well.
Again, disruption is the name of the game. And with Lion going down, it does make life a little bit harder. Combine that with the Monty ban. I would love the Monty right now if I was Man LFO. Just drop down that hatch, walk into piano, play by the concrete area, impact run out here from the Solus. Knows there's no air jump on the door.
Oh my god.
Couple bullets around the operator. Eventually takes down Pluto.
Couple bullets.
Couple bullets.
There's
well,
25 bullets by the way.
No big deal. That's why you don't play the Roni, because that would have been a different story. You would have run out of bullets before you can get the kill. Would not have been good.
Yeah. Look, Pluto, you can smack talk in the old chat when you're not dead. How about that?
Hey. I think it was
oh my
fair
god,
putting that out. He dropped on top of his face, man, on beneath the skylight. Help!
Oh, what a nuke from Brendo. See you later, Elements. Hyped him up in the pre-show, and he has achieved very little. Hunter 1v4. Look, it's not going to be a 7-0 for EP like it was in their previous match, but certainly looking like it could be a dominant scoreline. 2 rounds in a row. They are carving Man LFO a new one.
Poor Hunter. He hears the player, drops on over, gets double swung again. Good little bit of crossfire there from Enterprise across the map, always forcing numbers advantage. And it starts off with getting down that first player, taking out the Lion, and then after a run out onto the second. It really feels like the moment Enterprise get 1 kill and they get like a small lead, they're just gonna run with the round because they do not slow down. It just means that Man LFO have less bodies to counter with, but EP just keep throwing themselves at the enemies.
I like the Solus ban though. Still the Pulse and the Valkyrie are up. Even the Echo is up as well. 25 bullets, man.
The fact that Pluto don't even get to shoot back. Like, was he weapon swapping? Was he reloading? Like, he had so much time to fight
even
back
if
and
you
he did
just
not fire.
spam shift, bro, you just
yeah,
like
live,
rappel
actually.
down to the bottom.
Yeah.
From grenades. You can worry less about grenades now. Got us a new drone. Didn't even have to aim. I'm reloading.
Nice to see a cute little strat that we see sometimes. Bappen on the Oryx has just sprinted into the bar, the long bar, and completely destroyed it. This is a classic thing. When Oryx came out, people realized that if you just use the Oryx dash into things, it breaks the hell out of stuff.
It's also, when Oryx first came out, Cathay had this notorious, I don't know if it's a bug or whatever, but half the patches, that long bar disc was like indestructible by shotguns. Like you made the tiniest holes and it would take so many bullets and so much time. So when Oryx came out, people realized during the patches where that disc is hard to break with a regular shotgun, you genuinely would pick Oryx to make it break because it's such an important angle to generate to play freezer, deny the default plant, etc. Watch the skylight drop as well once they land. Pluto's just hot freeze into the hallway window. He's gotten the first kill to Clash.
This is my guy right here. Get the hell in there and mess some shit up. Especially with all these bars destroyed by the Oryx. It makes it so much easier to take fights with these anchors.
He sees the laser.
Pluto's keen for a little bit more. No, that's his teammate's laser.
There's 2 lasers.
Looks like it's a bit of a bait. Was there another laser? Man, I'm so sick of these lasers, dude. It's completely debating all these players. Pluto gets stuck on a rotate hole and ends up losing his life to Brendo, who's 6-1, by the way. Mikasa finds one before he's being traded back. Brendo 1v3. Good luck, son. They know exactly where you are. And while you have a deployable shield, you don't have a lot of safe havens here. Man, LFO, so much util. 4 flashes, 5 flashes, and drones to work with as well. They're watching for the position.
Beautiful.
Hunter shuts him down, and it's a second round on the board for Man LFO.
And again, such good discipline in the 3v1. That's generally where Men LFO, they are so good at just not giving any free gunfights and throwing those rounds and making it easier for Enterprise. They get opening pick thanks to Pluto. So he's in the white hallway corridor window, and he starts rappelling in, sledgehammers it mid-air, and it's just in there. Takes Clash away in 90, in Pixel and Piano, and just the round plays out. Literally the entire team works off of that play. But the important thing to note, Man LFO didn't all rush the bomb side, because then you can lose the round immediately. They let Pluto make that initial play. The moment he killed the Clash, that's when everybody else joined the battle. So it's them saying, hey guys, we're gonna make this play, and based off the outcome, we're gonna do either this, we're gonna do that. If you get the kill, we all push with you. If he were to die for nothing, you just play the round out like he got spawn in his 4v5. Right? You go hatches, you get them, you breach piano, whatever, probably. So it's very important to note that Man LFO, they had kind of 2 strats in one, basing it off the outcome. And I love that. It generates a more stable and consistent playstyle, and also showed how much foresight went into that round.
If EP don't win this 4-2, is that a failure?
Sorry, come again, sorry?
If EP don't win this half 4-2 split, is that a failure for them?
Well, if they don't get 3-3, it's a failure. I think like with the Asami Castle ban and now Solids, which is targeting their playstyle, I do think it makes defense a lot more difficult than people give it credit for. With Siege X coming out last year, you can now change the rappel on the stage windows. You can go from like the hallway rappel to white stairs rappel. If you're utilizing these rappel angles, it makes it so hard to exist on defense, especially pairing with these operator bans. So I'd say 3-3 is the goal for Enterprise. And Man LFO being the weaker team in this matchup, they'll be happy with a 3-3 as well, I would say.
Very fair point. Very fair point.
Very operator heavy this map, right? It's one of those where you can literally play Asami Castle, my Jaeger, and a shield. Or you can play 5 C4s. You can play Echo Maestro. Like, you can do so many different option setups based on the operator bans and the playstyles. Karak is the first one. Abaddon on the 5 from 2 different people. Speaking of repels, that south window on stage cleans him off.
It's the problem with this very fluid playstyle from EP. Man LFO on these repels, by maintaining superior positioning, can pick this setup apart. The C4s do not land so much information here, thanks to Mikasa on the Valkyrie. Yellow pings can come out from Bappen while he's dead and enable more C4s, enable re-aggression as well. But the attackers have their own fair share of info. Ooh. Big double C4 from Mikasa on the Valkyrie. Beers and Elements completely out of it. And Sharky has got to be asking himself some questions. He hasn't yet dealt with these Valkyrie cams, and he's picked the bloody IQ. Last C4 comes out. 4v2 now for Enterprise.
Yeah. And it's going to make it worse. 4v1. Just Sharky left that IQ. You can sit there with your thoughts and go, guys, my bad. I didn't check for the Mossy and the Valcam and the post and the pre-place. And he will check it now because he doesn't want to die to it, right? The issue is, my guy, the damage is done. Getting the Valkyrie cam cleared out now, it's too late. You got 40 seconds, 4 enemies, and so much map to cover. So, I mean, what you can do now is you can check what they died to, where the camera was, because it's good to know for the future rounds if they play IQ, or sorry, if they play Valkyrie again, for example. But this round is cooked. There is no chance.
Good round, says Bappen.
It was a good
To be
round.
fair, Bappen dying is actually not a half bad thing for Enterprise here. When you have so much observation tools, actually sometimes it's better to have a player dead, to just sit them and not have to worry about being flanked. They can just be dead and be on cams. Mikasa finally finishes off the rounds, and Enterprise go up 3-2. One last round in the half, and like you said, not a failure for EP, but it's still a chance for Man LFO to tie it up.
Yeah. I mean, if you are EP, of course, you're going to say, guys, we got to go for the 4-2, etc. But just from a statistical point of view, I think they'll be perfectly happy with just the 3. I expect Enterprise to have strong attacks as well, given their current playstyle. We'll see when that happens. First, I got to get this final round and a half done. They're going to go to the tertiary of reading and library. They're going to bring out the Clash once more. And if they don't get rushed, this upstairs hold should be more playable. I am a little bit surprised. Okay, on one side, I'm not surprised at all. On the other side, I'm very surprised. No mirror, by the way. A mirror is so strong for every single bomb site. Oh, maybe it's if the kitchen one downstairs. But it doesn't suit Enterprise's playstyle. We always speak about this, you and I, James, when we cast sometimes, when mirrors in play. Playing the mirrors is a great operator, right? You play behind it. But you're also kind of limiting yourself at where you can play. Because if you have 2 mirror windows, surely you have a player behind each one of them. And if you're the attacker, you're also expecting a defender behind each of those mirror windows. If you're Enterprise, that means you can move around less, because now you're stuck behind that mirror window itself. By playing the Clash, it's like a movable mirror, you can walk around. By not playing the mirror at all defenders can move around freely as they want.
Loading mag! Swapping mags.
Still very loose look from Enterprise. I like this from Man LFO. Here's a bit of gusto, a bit of bravery. Activate the Adrenal Surge from the Finker and get that blitz in there. Wow, tries to go for a bit of a wallbang. Cheeky, nice Nitro Cell for Sharky. Takes him down very low on HP. Aaron now brings out the Reaper. Looks to try and find the fight. Cairo back onto the SMG as well. And this rush is put to an end for now.
Still got Cairo though. As long as Clash is here, all is good in the world. And Sharky being so low on health means that he can easily get shot in his toes or shoulder, and then that'll be that. Cairo forced to go for a run out on the Clash. Actually works out just fine. There's the Lion gone, enabling more movement from the vendors.
Oh man!
Mind you, again, with Blitz being low, the toes, they're exposed.
Oh, insane. What a way to throw it away for Man LFO. Enterprise just holding on to their positions, isolating the fights. Taking down that Blitz meant everything. Now it's up to Beers to try and cover, while Elements forces that kit down. Good info onto Brendo's position. Good reposition as well. Bit of a boost, but that finger boost makes a hell of a lot of sound. Doesn't matter though, because Brendo wins, or doesn't win his fight anyway. Cairo now going for a big flank. 1v2. He knows exactly where Beers is, but I think Man LFO know the position as well. Cairo on the Clash, can't get it done. Man LFO tie up the scoreline as we move into the second half.
Told me you believe in something and you said you're done pretending that fate is patient. Go run away, get it out of your system. Come back when you're older. Go find a place where you can't be the victim. And come back when you're older. Go catch the storm within your broken bones and be wild, 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 wild. this is your beginning. Will colors fade, but it's okay. There is good in changes. Go run away, get it out of your system. Come back when you're older. Go find a place where you can't be the victim. And come back when you're older. Go catch the storm.
What a
Bit
throwback,
of a chance
huh?
to talk to their coach with Sali there. The coach from Man LFO getting in on the action. Sali is a bit of an OG as well. He's been working with Hunter for what seems like an age now. I remember back in the day, I first knew Sali because he was with the university team way back in the day. We've got a little bit of a university scene here in Australia. I know a lot of, yeah, we don't really call it college here in Australia. I don't know, it's just a dialect thing. I know in America they love calling it college. They love collegiate. But yeah,
I like the word collegiate. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
like
people say that, oh, I played collegiate, I'm like, oh, I know what that is. That makes sense.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, it's kind of a fancy word. Sounds a bit French, you know?
Okay.
You know one of my favorite words, Pangu? You ready for it?
Which one? Which one?
Hugelit. Or Hugelit.
What?
Hygge.
Higelit? Oh,
Hugelit.
Hugelit. Oh, Hugelit.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a slang in Australian. I thought it was
No,
Danish.
it's Danish.
Oh, so you gotta use the quote-unquote correct way of using the word, okay?
How do I?
So
yeah,
Hugelit, Hugelit is actually it's like a specific version. You say Hygge.
Okay, so wait, what's the difference in Hygge and Hugelit?
So, okay, Hygge is like something that's been termed internationally as like a thing. Like, this is Hygge. It's like this nice, cozy, like vibe thing, okay?
Yes, right.
Hyggelit is specific. So, oh, this specific instance was Hyggelit. So it's
Okay.
more like it's saying this specific niche is this. Saying
Right.
Hygge is like a general term.
So could
So
I
Hygge.
say like, oh, last night I was curled up by the fire reading my book, having a hot chocolate, and it was very Hugelit.
Yeah, that exactly. So it's a specific. Whereas you can
Okay.
say, oh, last night was super Hygge. You
Okay.
can also technically say super Hyggelit, but it's like Hygge is more general coin term and Hyggelit is a specific thing.
When are we
Yeah.
going back to Denmark for a major, man? Take me back.
Probably never, because about 4.5 people showed up. Yeah, expensive.
Surely we could do
hard
it in
to
your
get to,
backyard,
and-
mate.
Yeah, I live on the second floor in an apartment. I don't have a yard. Well, we can find a field somewhere. Plenty of fields around my town. Some cows, some horse, some sheeps.
You will have a great audience then.
Yeah, actually. Rock up in numbers. Just like this bakery attack. What, 4 people? 3 in the door, 1 in the window. Blitz goes in, sends off the wall. Here they come.
Oh, here he goes. But Elements has got him. Aaron, though, good for
Wait.
a trade. And Beers gets
The
him back
Sophia stun.
again.
The
Yeah,
Sophia
it-
stun killed the Blitz.
What?
It wasn't an Elamine. They Sophia the Aruni. Oh my god.
No,
it's falling
really?
apart. Yeah,
That is-
Sophia
that-
stunned the Aruni, but has an AoE explosion, so it hit the Blitz as well.
That is a rookie mistake there. Ironically, the concussion from Brendo probably didn't have much effect on Elements whatsoever, but absolutely sold Cairo on the Blitz. That's a rough
Unlucky.
round for Enterprise, and Man LFO will easily lap it up. They got a lot of things to say about that one. Big laugh from Beers. A big laugh from Element's forehead as well.
I think Sharky just realized and his teammate told him what happened because he was dying laughing. So yeah, I was at first I thought, why would there be an Ella mine that deep in Bakery? That makes no sense. I checked the operators, there's no Ella, and I go, oh, I know what happened now. So yeah, the Sophia stun will only activate immediately with impact when a defender or an enemy is nearby. Otherwise, they'll just kind of fuss around it when they eventually blow up. But while only the enemies can trigger it, it does share the same effect as like an Elamine where it has a radius of explosion. And right before the Blitz was gonna hit the flash, they got broken, stunned, can't use the animation, or sorry, can't use the gadget, and therefore died. Disaster. And that kind of chalks the entire round, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But you
Question for
rush, you win
what
fast,
was
you
the
lose fast.
purpose of the Zephyr? Because she's very much out of meta now, being a slow operator. She doesn't really bring a lot more util than a lot of other counterparts. Like, you typically use a Capital for that position. What was the thought process behind bringing the Zoph there? Because all it did was sell the Blitz.
So Sophia is essentially just Ashe with more utility, right? Like you can both stun and you can do self-destruction. You can bring Heartbeats, for example, canisters on the operator as well, right? I think that these ones would like mentally completely annihilate the person in Bakery, but they just mistimed the stun. Because why wouldn't you stun? He's gonna jump out, by the way, surely. Oh, maybe not. Why wouldn't you stun the guy behind the desk? It makes perfect sense. He can't see, he can't hear, he's getting completely obliterated. But unfortunately, mistimed it with the Blitz pushing in, and therefore it's a team kill instead. But you're right, like they could have played Capital. They could have played a lot of different operators for that specific niche. So I'm not sure if they had any other intent than just like rushing by Sophiaing, open the door, and then stunning right after.
You're right earlier. Yeah, I'm really surprised that Hunter hasn't so far. Maybe he'll go for it soon. Nice nitro cell from Beers. Perhaps he's waiting for a call out from his teammate to know that he's within range, because obviously this shotgun is going to do absolutely nothing against Brendo when he's this far away. If someone repels on the cocktail window, I think Hunter would probably find it.
The thing is, by playing the Capcan shotgun, if you're not gonna jump out this window, there really aren't that many great gunfights for you to take later on. So that's why he's still gonna do this. Like, this is literally his role at the minute. Now, he can play around any corner, playing by a door, but he needs the attackers to push into him. Because like you said, with that shotgun limited range, so if they pick apart it vertically here and break open the entire bomb site, Hunter is just going to be a pistol secondary. His shotgun will not do anything this round if they can do that. But they only have secondary shotguns to break open the floor with both the Grim and the Gridlock. So they wish they had a ram right about now. They wish.
Yeah, they do. Or a sledge or breaching charges.
Anything, right?
Yeah.
Also, what's the Thatcher doing this round? Like, what is his operator doing? I don't actually know.
Good question. I guess it could be looking for Valkrams or looking for, Mozzie Pests. Could even find the Capcan traps.
Yeah,
Big pick for Aaron, though. Taking down the DMR. It's the best weapon that Man LFO brought to the table.
You're still doing good. This shotgun has been going at it for the last 60 seconds, and they've barely broken the floor. But they're doing it. And now they can drop down to pillar, hold the vert. They got pillar flank and brown by Brendo. As long as the vertical hold is successful, they can actually go for a realistic plant. Genuinely.
Oh man, Brendo almost with that, but Sharky goes down. And you're right, there might be a plant opportunity now, except for Bappin falling. Yeah, it doesn't matter that Hunter's running shotgun, because he'll do damage with the pistol regardless. The PMM packs a serious punch. Brings out the shotty, Pluto for a flank. I think this is going to be a round for Man LFO. Mikasa, the last one standing. The plant has not been confirmed. Had it been, it might have been possible, but in the 1v1, Mikasa cannot get the job done. And Man LFO retake the lead.
Oh, very small things there going the wrong way. And honestly, when it comes down to the fine details, Pluto getting that pistol kill to make the attackers of one less person makes a huge difference. Because, mind you, Brenda was watching the pillar flank and the brown stairs. Then they had two people in the bomb site door, and the fourth guy was watching the verticality for the bomb site push. When they lose the first player, either you surrender the flank and pillar / brown stairs, Brendo's position, or you sacrifice the vert. But sacrificing the vert is not an option, because if the defenders retake white stairs upstairs, now they see the planet vertically, you guarantee lose the round. So they have to let go of the flank by rotating over Brendo to that door, replace the player who died, and then again, LFO, great discipline, great foresight. They recognize they cannot cover the bomb site and the flank at the same time with only two people. So therefore, they get a punish and they get a kill. And now they're playing Caveira, hiding in piano. Man LFO are now playing standard siege, and it's working really well for them.
Yeah, I mean, 2 rounds up on a map where Enterprise 7-0'd
they can afford it.
Their last opponent. Yeah, they can afford it. Now they're playing the Cav. Like, this is just utterly insane from Man LFO. Thankfully for EP, they're running a Dockerby. Oh, I think Hunter's hoping that someone's going to try and solo into Bake here. I don't think so, based on the spawns at the moment.
So if Hunter gets an interrogation, that's probably going to be the entire round done. But he's relying on somebody solo entering all the way downstairs. and he can hunt them on like the white, the red, the brown staircase. The issue is if EP go for a top floor rappel attack, they're not gonna be near the Caveira at all, and then the interrogation's never gonna happen inside, you know, piano cigars. It's not gonna be possible. So if Hunter's lucky here, Doku might just walk on in, and it could be a red play. Yeah, he's making his way.
And Mikasa wants to solo up white, I believe, but at the moment he's still outside. The Dokkaebi, though, is the perfect counter to the Cav.
Slow and steady.
He's repositioned for it. Look at this.
Yeah.
He's so keen. Elements is trying to bait him in.
Baiting
I like the way that Man LFO are playing this. Very cheeky here.
Even if Elements dies, it's worth it.
Absolutely. Brendo, though, takes down Beers, so no more Aruni. Mikasa is watching. He's seemingly aware of a potential flank. He doesn't know, but he's got a suspicion. Don't think there's a drone. You can see Hunter keeps checking around. Is there a drone on me, or is this just game sense? He's got to bide his time here. Doesn't need to make a move too soon.
It's awkward, right? Because, mind you, the other defenders are 3 versus 4 elsewhere. They're trading 1 for 1 here below bottom white. But because Enterprise already have a pick, Mikasa can wait for as long as he wants. He has a global gadget and Dokkaebi call. He can push up the white staircase to help the bombs that take later on. It's kind of Hunter and LFO that are suffering the most in this scenario because of that. Had it been reversed where LFO had man advantage, it's so much better for the defenders.
Yeah. And EP can just continue playing slow and steady. Tear off the vert. You look at the ops that have been brought. They've got Sledge. They've got Ram. And what's more, they got Bappin on the Brava as well to tear away at info on the side. I think they've now spotted Hunter. Know that there's a Cav on the board, and that tells you a lot. Aaron will take him down. It's just Sharky and Elements left. It looks like Man LFO's reign of terror might be at an end, but there's not a lot of time on the clock here, so a big chance for Sharky and Elements to go big. Couple of bullets, though, wasted by Sharky. That means they know exactly where he is. A flawless close to the round for EP. 1 trailing now behind Man LFO. 1 more to try and even it up.
So much more solid than the previous round, right? It's giving Chiefs vibes, where somebody has to say, guys, let's play properly. Step 1, step 2, step 3, count it down, execute together, and just win it. It's again a matter of maybe competition. When you can just win the majority of your games and your rounds off individual skill and just running over your opponent, there is gonna be an area where you start slacking a little bit because you're just used to playing this way. Man LFO will call their attack timeout despite being 1 round up. Maybe discussing what style they should go for. Should it be the pocket strats risky plays? Should they play for the verticality, the C4? Should they play the utility? They need to conjure up 2 more rounds to take this in regulation, and that's quite realistic. And there's the throwback. Mr. Magnet himself from the good old Fnatic days.
New coach for Enterprise making a return. Did you manage to bump into Mag at the APAC Major Qualifier when you came down to Melbourne? Because he was there actually working as one of the admins.
Yeah, a couple times or so. I've been to Japan twice in the last, 3 years. And I've been to Australia. Every single time, he's there. He just shows up. Like, I went to Japan for DreamHack. He was there. We went out together one night. And then, obviously, he was working in Australia as an admin, I believe, right? So I bumped into him there. And it's fun seeing him every now and again. I also speak to Diesel every now and again, too.
Oh, yes.
He plays a couple different games on Steam that I also play. So he'll tell me that, oh, yeah, you're playing this game right now. What do you think about it? So, yeah. I love Fnatic, guys. I mean, I spent so much time with Mag and Diesel back in my playing days because we scrimmed Fnatic more than anybody else. I think Noah Rengo and Fnatic were our 2 most scrimmed teams when we boot camped internationally because they would also be there. And when we're playing, a major, for example, we're there for like 2 weeks. We don't want to scrim the best team in UNNA because like they're our competition. We can scrim Fnatic and Noah Rengo every single day because they're probably not going to make it as far to the point where it matters. So we spend a lot of time together in the server.
Very much a departure from the old support staff for EP. I mean, obviously Mingo, but let's not forget as well, Fisher guy, he was an active player, but he functioned primarily Oh, he functioned very much as a bit of a support staff as well because of how much he contributed to the prep for that team. So interested to know what it's like with Mag after he wasn't in the scene for a while. But for Man LFO, it was their tactical timeout. They had a chance to talk to Sali. And now they just need to try and throw 2 curveballs EP's way to win 2 more defenses in this half and win the round.
So many C4 plays from both these two teams when they're on defense. Meanwhile, talk about explosions, the Fuse making his appearance. It's not every day that we see that. But historically, this is one of the maps where Fuse got played the most. If you go far enough back in the history books, you use the Fuse cluster charge while executing. It's a clear utility back when Maestro was commonly played. Also, of course, you got a shield on Fuse, so you can now have self-destruction, hard destruction, and a shield to go for a plant. It's a very, very versatile operator for vertical bomb sites. Now, the goal isn't necessarily to get a kill with the gadget, like I said, just either force out some positions or clear stuff like the Goyo canisters. That's all you're looking for, really.
Once you open up the vert, those Fuse charges are going to send those defenders running around. Also clear a hell of a lot of that util. I want to know where the final execute is to come from for EP, though. Obviously, the Sens and the Fuse shield will be the main operators that can enable that execute. Brendo's gone down, though. I think that was just a contest through the vert.
Yeah.
Kyra at least can breach up the hatch and breach a lot of the breaching... destroy a lot of the util that's over near dishes on site.
And it could just be a default plant here. You can just like drop down the hatch, walk into the side, and I think that's not a bad play at all. Prep a little Fuse charge as well, and you can start getting some pressure. The issue is Enterprise are not really doing the vert and holding the angle, so LFO keep running around beneath the verticality. They're hiding by the chassis, they're playing by the window, and there's vert right above them. They shouldn't be allowed to do this.
Oh, nice. The Sens wall, I think, just got shot from Sharky. So, no, it's still part of it is active. He's just added a second one.
Guys.
Yeah, it is. 20 seconds left. Sharky now just has to spray on through. Being the Clash as well, such a good operator. Now he drops the cover and hard watches the angle. Mikasa finds the opening kill. 2 players pushed together. Bapping for a double. Elements is the last one standing. 1v4, the plan is down. And EP have conjured up a miraculous execute onto Kitchen. Plan is down. Bappin goes for a third. Massive round from him. Beautiful execute for EP.
It's funny because EP could have done that exact execute like 60 seconds earlier because they had all the same tools, all the same player positions, but they were missing something, they thought. They were looking for something else or something to find, maybe expecting to get a kill or hoping that they were going to get impatient from the side of Man LFO. But at the end of the day, they do the expected play. Drop the Fuse shield, utilize it for a plant, the cover is good, and it's very important that the player bottom white who's just watching the flank doesn't challenge the Clash and walk in and take that gunfight. Your job is to just stay alive and watch the flank, because if you die, your teammates die right after. So everyone played their role perfectly. And the thing about that bomb site and why it's often hated by defenders is that you just don't strategically have many ways to win that round. If you're Man LFO, you had spent your Toxic Babes, you didn't have a C4, the only way to stop the planter is to do what they did. 3 people swinging together, hoping to win their gunfight. But if you don't win that gunfight, you will literally just lose. So you don't have that many tools as a defender. You're forced into a bad spot. Enterprise, they tied it up 5-5. But now we're going to see the stronger bomb sites for the remainder of regulation. So EP gotta be better on the attacks now and be successful here on the tertiary, and then probably top 4 afterwards.
Love a break point. 5-5 is where things get really spicy. Tell you what, I love that little usage of the OBS blocker. Very rarely do we see these brought to the table. But just solidifying some of these positions by preventing them from getting droned correctly. That was an interesting choice of C4 for Beers. Big chance for EP now to show us that they could do what they did on that kitchen bomb site on a couple other of these sites.
We've seen Mikasa down here a couple times now. The roamer on the first floor, looking to get up one of those staircases later on. It's all about timing. This is the thing about having Mikasa on your team. Also known as Jigsaw, by the way. He requires... Oh, he's dead. He requires either freedom or he requires resources, right? When you're in IGL, Kyra, for example, here, calling a strat, and then we just wallbang him back. You're saying, guys...
Traced him,
yeah,
dude.
he just took him out. If you're Kyra calling the shots right now, you only really have 3 people plus yourself to work with. Because Mikasa, aka Jigsaw, is going to be stuck doing his own thing. That means that he's actually taken up a lot of freedom in the server, meaning other people have to cover his position, because you just have one less guy to do it with. And it's why a player like Mikasa, aka Jigsaw, has to get a lot of kills. Because he's actually taken up so much either resource or space for the team. So him going 11-6 is excellent, but rounds like these where he dies for nothing, it means that you gotta be really efficient with just 4 people. But EP and Babin getting that kill traded right back with the wallbang, that makes things playable.
This could be big though from Pluto. Oh, doesn't have a lot of info. He's just got audio this. No, actually he's got the pulse from Sharky. Hopefully he can do a little mango call out, as I like to say. As soon as you see the player over it, you call your secret code word and your teammate blows that C4. It should be a freebie. Oh, he's getting close.
We call boom.
I prefer mango personally.
Mango, okay, I've not heard that one before.
Plan's going down, guys.
They're still trying to bait the
Hello?
C4. Guys.
Anybody home? Man LFO, there's stuff happening. Pluto, though, quick, jumps on top of the washing machine, finds a quick pick on Brendo, now exposes himself, goes on the washing machine again, looks for another kill while exposing the Grims, but Bappin doubles up. Oh, perfect post-plant positioning from Enterprise. Eren and Bappin together, finding big kills. Beers, a bit of damage, but no kill as of yet. Map point for EP.
I mean, that's just unlucky. They are so distracted with the mango boom call out that they're just not even thinking about the fact that the plant was going down. The Grimpies were there making some sound and noise, and red ping if you were to walk into the bomb site again. Clinical out from EP, way too easy, I would argue, given the fact that there was C4 available to deny the planter. But oh well, sometimes you don't hear the plant, or you get stuck on bad timing, or distracted, or whatever the case might be. But no, I haven't heard the mango call before. I gotta say, that's not the European callouts.
No, I mean, that's from my OCE goat, Silix, who was back on the wild card and Auglis and Atletico team way back in the day. That was in the Fnatic era.
Okay.
Silix actually won the first ever LAN in ANZ. It was called the ANZ Invitational, and that was in 2016 or 2017, before we had a Pro League down under in OCE. Good old times. I still play ranked with Silix these days. He is an old man now, though.
Aren't we all? I mean, if you were around in 2015, you'd be old by now. That's just math, right?
I mean, yeah, but like...
You can't be young and have been a pro player actively in 2015.
It's funny because, like, look, you and me, we're not 30. Like, you know, we're in our mid-20s.
Late 20s.
Let's call it mid-20s.
Okay, yeah.
And we're still old these days by OCE standards, honestly, by esports standards in general.
Yeah.
It's scary, man. It's scary.
I think I saw the average retirement age in esports. I'm not sure if it was very specific games or generally speaking, but it was like 23 to 25. Obviously, games like Counter-Strike and League of Legends probably drag down that number a bit because you can go pro at like 14, 15, or 16. I'm not entirely certain on that. Whereas in Siege it's 18. But most people don't have a career from 18 to past 25. That's quite rare. And most people, obviously, in Siege will never win the tournament because historically it's the same few orcs and teams dominating. Hold up, mini play, aura buff, longer range, fast activation timer, stronger for the attackers. Can't quite get the angle at double door though.
Bit awkward though, trying to play that newly buffed Freora. This is going to be big from the C4, however, The Thatcher EMPs it out of the air. The plant will go down. Beautiful play from Enterprise. Mikasa and Eren together find opening kills. Man LFO are doing their darndest to try and retake, but this Rayora has made it all kinds of painful. Upside down rappel doesn't quite find the shot there for Piers. So many players in the building. Outside, Hunter to hunt down Mikasa, but still a three-way crossfire for Enterprise is impossible to withstand, and it is oh so over. Big game from EP. They let a few rounds slip through the cracks, but a massive finish with a beautiful brand new strat nets them the first map win. They look to get it done in 2. Map 2 coming up after this.
They've come out windmilling like an Englishman looking for a scrap. But talking of a scrap, Pino!
If he goes uncontested and the kick goes cold, that'll be devastating. The grenade goes through, that's the swing! Cyber and Bullet are able to get one apiece with the kit so far away, and Canadian down upstairs.
Cyber, wow, that was special.
It's a 1 versus 3 to hold, and they're pushing him from behind. He's found one. He's got to get the vertical as well. They get pulled off Tim. We're down to the last 3 or 4 seconds. Ryder's got another. He's held on. He's going to do it. And PSG take the 2-1 win.
Both players spotted, but the res can be made successfully.
Got another one for Solotov. Information from the Bees. It goes in. Shotgun. W7s. They cement themselves as one of the greatest of all time.
He's starting to get cooked alive, Ollie, but he's using his dim pistols. Look at this from the dock. Surely not. Brilliant. That's play of the year in my book.
Plays the game, hits the old body, doesn't quite catch it. There's the impact.
He gets it.
There's the dash. He doesn't have the confirmation. He's going back. He's not quite sure. He
Nesk, gotta go.
A few seconds. Stick it, Nesk. Stick it.
This is an angle that he might be able to contest. No, unfortunately, he takes just a bit of damage there. A walk, I guess, to the second one. Eclipse, though, will get one, turning it into a 2v2. Now they push it on the side. The Bandit will lose out on this. Eclipse, the last alive on the Ella. He spots the head and takes them down. The ace for Waka.
He will down BC. Canadian positioning to pick up, but that's going to result in a double nade from Vertical. That's 4 for him in the round. Necrox, the final defender against Vertical. The ace, absolute domination.
Believe in magic, Michael. Team 1 does as they win the Mexico Major. He gets in just in time!
They are the best that this region has got to offer.
So the big dogs of OCE looking pretty strong. Man LFO picked Cafe, but EP take it 7-5. What a way to close it as well. How many days has that Rayura buff been out for? What, a day or two now? And already Magnet and the boys are cooking some strats. Beautiful kickoff to Cafe.
Yeah, I mean, I love seeing the new kind of reinvention of Thatcher, how it's being used not to deny like the walls and the Bandikai, but how you're denying C4s mid-air so consistently across various bomb sites. It's the sole reason why they won that final attacking round, because they're going for a plant, the C4 was tossed, it was landing in Fuse's lap, but it gets EMP'd mid-air. And then you're thinking, oh, snap, we lose the round. Because literally, if you deny the planter, you win as Man LFO. If the bomb goes down, you win as Enterprise.
For sure. It's funny, you look at the Enterprise roster and, you know, no Fisho guy anymore. He is obviously retired, and it has been 6 years, I'm going to say, since we saw an OCE team win a match internationally without Fisho guy, because the last team to do it was Fnatic way back in the day in 2020 when they beat you on G2. Every team that has won a match internationally from OCE since then has been either Bliss or Enterprise with Fisho guy. I don't think Chiefs ended up winning any games when they... Oh, sorry. Won against a non-APAC team, because Chiefs won, but they only beat APAC teams. Doesn't really count.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a long time. What's Fisho guy got that separates himself from the pack in OCE? Well, no, he's not even that old, dude. I think he's younger than me. It's the fact that he is a strategically minded player, whereas you look at this roster, it's like Jigsaw, Brendo, Tsuhan, Bappin, like these guys are known to be fraggers. Cairo, he's known to be a little bit more kind of tactical, but still a bit of a fragger. So could they play with a more strategic playstyle has been a big question, and we saw it, I think, in that final round of attack. The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. But how often? That's the follow-up question, right? Because most of the time, it's, guys, I see a gap. Guys, I can get a kill. Hey, I'm going to make a play. When they go for those stable executes, it's phenomenal. But I think one of the issues for OCE and even the greater parts of APAC, maybe outside of Weibo and Asia, is the consistency of play. If you can play strategically sound very commonly, you can go international and you can maybe take maps or games off other regions. But if you play this like, oh, my gun skill is better than you, and you play against Brazil when you're used to playing in Oceania, that's not gonna net you any good results. It is so important to me, now working in OCE and APL, to see teams play more strategically, because yes, you might dominate domestic, you might get the first place in Oceania, great, but you're gonna get first rounded on LAN every single event unless you can play strategically sound commonly.
Sorry, I just want to say it's the most Aussie thing I've ever seen. We've got Brendo with his AFL on in the background.
Yeah. It's been going the entire game.
Who's playing today, guys? Who's playing today? I don't think we have the broadcast rights to show the AFL stream.
Is that a workaround?
Very classic Aussie. I love to see it.
And then Sharky has the generic like guy's room. He's got his PC. He's got like a little couch chair behind him and a gym rack. Like that's Sharky's entire room setup.
Yeah.
He's locked in, dude.
And then we've got Elements, who's playing from hell itself. The fires are starting to rise, boys.
Fully blacked out the
man.
window with the curtain, then got the red lights on. Dude, he's getting that infrared treatment while gaming. He's actually healthy.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. Yeah, long way to go here for Man LFO. Of course, they lose this series. It's fine. You go down to the lower bracket. You can make a comeback and win in the lower bracket final and then go and get a rematch against Enterprise, even if they do lose today. But they need everything they can get, especially going on bank against Enterprise. After losing their own map pick of Cafe, they now look for redemption on the second map. We go to bank. We've seen EP play it. They destroyed Barbie Boys 7-2 on their first match here in Kickoff. Now they look to put away Man LFO and rocket forward into the grand final. Bank is where we find ourselves as Man Esports LFO look to try and make a comeback on the second map.
Surely it's a multi-ban, no? Just thinking ahead here. I could see it. For starters, it's Ying and Asami. Maybe it's not a multi-ban.
Back in the day, Hunter was known to be like the best shield player in OCE. I don't know if he's really hacked it so much recently, but no, they're going to leave all of the shields in for the attacking side.
Well, let's see the follow-up with the Asami and the Castle ban. Same thing as on Cafe. It's again... So this is the only thing that I actually don't like about the Asami Castle ban. And this is purely theoretical. On Cafe and on Bank, if you give your enemy Asami Castle, they can bunker down or bunker up, whatever you want to say, and play behind utility. Which kind of makes you able to pick it apart, again, step by step. By banning Asami and Castle, you're giving Enterprise the mindset, oh, we can't hide behind utility, now we're just gonna swing and go for gunfights. But when you're up against mechanically more talented players and people who have better shots than you, do you want to force them to take fights because they have to? Or would you rather just pick apart against them and play like Capitao and DMRs? I almost feel like the Castle Asami ban in some sort of way here is kind of working against them, theoretically speaking. Of course, it also makes attacking easier and yada 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 in some ways. But I am curious what Cafe would have looked like if Asami and Castle were not banned away.
Yeah.
Because you could just give like false sense of security, right? Like, oh guys, just play piano with all these key bass, and then next thing you know, there's a line with grenades and DMR and the window repel, and like you just die.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
I've noticed a lot of people kind of forget how good the DMRs are against Asami. A lot of people really obsess over that Asami. It takes like 2 seconds to clear out a keeper barrier with that Asami.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't discredit how powerful that is. Don't overestimate Asami sometimes, I think, as well, as part of it.
Oh, I love me a little pocket strat here. Beers on the Nook with the new DMR, I believe as well. Yeah, there it is. You gotta be really strong to hold this DMR one-handed, by the way, while walking around like Nook. Like that is gonna be a lot of weight on that forearm and that wrist. I know the class is here, so...
Yeah, but I mean, he's not going to be able to do much. It's kind of just revealing his position if he makes his way forward. Brendo, wow. Big double kill from the main stairs, and more or less that is the round done for Man LFO. I don't know how you bring yourself back into it after that kind of a start.
It's going to be a big C4. If he drops that hatch, there it is. C4 goes out. A little bit late out AQ. Doesn't find anything. Maybe a tiny, tiny bit of damage, if anything. But yeah, you said, well, it's kind of the round over. It's still technically clutchable, but I used the word clutch, not winnable. You would have to clutch up massively, or Enterprise would have to absolutely throw the round and give it to you. Again, they got Goya Fire, 2 Brock Canister, Clash, double C4. They have so many ways to lock you out, but that's when we're to start things off. Beers is down out of garage. Needs help, though.
Oh, the fire really locks him out. Bappen knew exactly where he was. Easy finish off. Elements and Sharky now in very awkward positions. I feel like this could be a flawless round for EP. Man LFO need to win some insane fights, and even that is just the beginning.
Throwing grenade.
The nade isn't the worst. Does bait a swing from Brendo, and he'll find that kill. Costs him a lot of HP, though. Sharky straight into the waiting arms of the Goyo inside of Garage. Now, Elements, 2 kills found so far from inside of the elevator, but now he's being followed by Cairo and Mikasa. That's Jigsaw all the way from way downtown finds the final kill. It's a great first round for Enterprise.
So, I want to pick your brains here, James, okay? You know how we got like the new the smoke canister, fire extinguisher, gas pipe, Siege X ingredient, right?
Yeah.
Something that's bothering me is present here on Bank. When you drop that elevator hatch, you are just locked in that room and there's no way out there. There's nothing you can do unless you're armor, right? What if you could, as an attacker exclusively, rappel back up certain hatches, or maybe all hatches? Because it's such a quote-unquote bad design that you're stuck in elevators. Like, there's this ginormous room with nothing to do. I don't know.
I feel like it's just
What
too
if you
powerful.
could rappel back up?
I feel like it's part of the punishment of dropping a hatch is that you're committing, you're making that decision. It has to be the right decision. I feel like if you could rappel up and down hatches, I feel like people would just drop that elevator hatch all the time and then just rappel back up. And then imagine you're a defender.
That's the beauty, right? You play like information, you gotta peek it sometimes. Like it's just that hatch that I hate. It's not any other hatch. It's just that one.
What about on Cafe? You're like rappelling back up the hatch onto the roof after you've...
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it should be every hatch. But for example, you know how you can go up the skylight on Bank in lobby. You can rappel from lobby to the roof on lobby skylight because you just need to go on the couch. On Cafe, if the bomb's at top floor, you can rappel up the skylight as well because you use a chassis for your legs. But there's no other skylight in the game that I know of where you can do it. So some skylights you can rappel from ground floor, but not every skylight. So why not have certain hatches where that's the same case, huh? That's all I'm saying.
It's a great question.
Huh?
Very good question.
Like,
I don't have all the answers, man. I don't have all the answers. What can I tell you?
Oh, I gotta talk to somebody who does then. I'll find myself that person one day.
Yeah, you might, if you're lucky.
I think it's interesting how there are these tricks in Seas. Like, before the most recent border rework or readjustment, you had to do like this boost angle in border on archives where you had to like sprint and like kind of slide off the edge to get onto the top of the archives wall. Now it's a vault prompt. Like, they've made it really easy and like less tricky, if you will, which is great for like newcomers. But they've also changed a lot of cool tricks that we have in the game that took a bit of map knowledge or experience to master. So I'm just kind of keen on that, bringing that kind of stuff back.
Yeah. Nice long angle from Beers. Big opening kill, and that's your DMR player gone down. No more long-range scopes here for EP. They are insistent on this clash, though. I wonder if they're trying to bait out the ban after the next 2 rounds. Oh, nice little bait.
Oh.
Gone 6 goes wasted.
I like that. Every bit of utility counts. I mean, again, Bappin on the clash could be a huge issue, but they gotta smoke off and hit the bomb set instead. They don't find the kill, though. The dots are not connecting, but they are inside.
Wow, Sharky going for a spray through the wall actually finishes off Tuhan. Kara making his way forward as well. He finishes off Beers. Bappin is down and not likely to be finished. Nice, though. Cairo being the Echo, he can use that yokai. He's now in position to try and relocate into the objective without being so exposed to the windows. Now he actually has a deep angle. They know exactly where he is now, and Elements on the window will shut him down. Nice attempt there from Cairo, but not in the 1vx, and Man LFO themselves finally on the scoreboard.
And this is why Simon Castle is a great operator ban. I mean, for that top floor bomb site, it is just, there's no way you can play man. It's so hard. And they do the right thing. They play on their repels, they utilize the angles, the utility, they get inside the bomb site. And it all comes down to the player and janitors. Can they, hear the rappel, go for the pre-fire, do they have a C4, can they stay alive? That's kind of where the whole round gets defined. Today we are seeing Caveira being played. Last game, and now we're seeing Oryx being played a second time. It's we're seeing some stuff today. I'm all for it.
I think you have to get creative on these defenses with the Azami Castle ban. Like you said, very hard to play on that top floor at all, whether that's the bomb side or whether you're just roaming when the Azami and Castle are banned. Like with the Castle, you start with that util there, and then by the time it's cleared, you've probably got a time advantage at least. With the Azami, you can use that mid-round to retake areas, even if there are players on the windows. The thing is, what do you do when you don't have either? Well, realistically, I'd say let's change bomb sites. Go to the Staff Room Kitchen bomb site, Staff Room Open Area bomb site. Instead of going there, though, however, Enterprise are going to go to Teller's Archives, which is by far and away the worst bomb site on the map. Because you're so vulnerable.
It's pretty much a matter of try and hold top floor without it being the bomb site, which means you can't spend as many resources and reinforcements as you normally would on a top floor defense, so they just fail to win. And you gotta worry about the entirety of the map because the bomb is in the middle of the building on the middle floor. So you gotta worry about the basement staircases, the first floor push, the top floor attack, Amaru as well for a bit of room clear very quickly. Why not? Let's see where he goes in Scarlet, straight into the bomb site.
This is very, very cheeky. I do love this. Pluto knows exactly which window gets him into bottom square as quickly as possible, not actually top square. That's very cheeky. However, good retake from Jigsaw up above. Takes him down. And now Man LFO in a much more awkward position. Elements needs to win this fight against Jigsaw. Bit of damage dealt. Comes in with the pistol, but Jigsaw's got the superior magazine. Hunter and Sharky now. A big task ahead of them as they are getting consistently stunned by that yokai. And Sharky's been finished off. Hunter, no diffuser, no teammates, and absolutely no hope in hell of winning this round.
Poor guy. Yokai stunned, jumped from 2 different angles and taken out. It's a rush round that actually is pretty good, but individual gunfights do not go their way. If Amaru gets the kill by the bomb site, and then the Solid Snake upstairs gets the kill on top square, Bappen I think it was, all of a sudden that's a 4v2 in favor of Man LFO. But because those 2 gunfights go the other way, we're looking at a 2v4 instead. And once you're in that 2v4 position with an Echo, that's like the last live operator, basically, like it's over. It's completely cooked. Nothing you can do. It's it's hard.
I gotta say, I've never thought about doing that rappel in or the Amaru in to that specific window, because obviously the far left, the 2 windows both get you into top square, and then on the next one along, the right side gets you into top square underneath the default cam, but the left one gets you to the bottom of the stairs, so you drop immediately down. Have you ever done that before? Because I've never thought of that.
I know it all too well because there's a player in APAC who owns that strat, and it's Misa in Korea.
Really?
Misa and PSG, every single scrim we had on Bank, at least 1 round, he would fly in that window. Didn't matter what round, didn't matter what attack, didn't matter what enemy, he would fly in that every single time he played Bank. He loved that strat. And he did the exact same thing as Man LFO did. You rush in, you fight the guy in Teller's Archives. It's even good for like a basement attack, because the only way to get in the middle of the building is that. Yeah. It's his fastest and quote-unquote safest way to get into Archive Tellers.
Can you just rappel in there normally? Like if you're rappelling on that window and you press spacebar, do you swing in and then drop down to the ground floor?
I've never tried to answer your original question, I've never personally rappelled in that window, but I would have to assume that that would be the case because I don't know. I have no idea. I've never tried.
Next rank game I play, I'm doing that.
I can boot up Siege in the break between maps. I'll check it out myself. I'll make sure. I actually don't know. I feel like in 10 years, I would have been bound to accidentally do it once at least. But I don't know if I have.
Crazy to imagine after this long of playing the game. Like, how many hours have you got in this game?
Mid 20,000?
20,000, dude. Yeah, I have the most out of all of my friends and everyone I play with, and I have 6,000. So
that is a lot, to be fair.
That is insane from you.
Mind you, my job was to play the game for a living. Your job was to talk and watch the game for a living. So, like, I would clock in hours as my hobby, spare time, and as my job. I was double dipping.
True. Triple dipping, even.
Triple dipping, probably, yeah.
That's insane. That's insane. I wonder who has the most hours in the world, and if they're a pro player.
It's probably people like Macy J, King George, myself, content creators / pro players / streamers.
Yeah.
Because you've naturally played the game for a job for like 10 years straight. Because I know King George clocks in literally 6 hours minimum every single day of the year.
Man's a grinder.
He's level like 3,499 right now.
Jesus.
Yeah, I think he's one of the highest, maybe the highest level player in the world that I know of.
Oh my god.
Him and Macy. Yep. I'm level 1600 for reference, but I also play
That's
custom game
insane.
scrims, no XP, and other accounts, of course. So
Yeah, that is insane.
he's way ahead.
All right. Man LFO got a lot of work to do on this attack round, especially because come that late round, you're going to deal with the Clash, you're going to deal with the Goyo, and if you're going for an XQ with Smokes, you're going to be dealing with that Warden as well. At least some of the hatches are already open. Now the A hatch inside of admin's opened up, but Bappen's just going to peek it. That's very aggressive. EP are playing this like they have no respect for Man LFO, and Bappen is trying to dominate that A hatch to buy enough time for Cairo to fall back. Wow, Cairo's going for an aggressive swing underneath this hatch. Beers is going to be able to peek it and take down the Clash.
Oh, he's gone. He's a magician. He's just vanished. Mikasa finds a second as well. He said at least the hatch is open. There's 24 seconds left. They open it at 56 seconds. There's no time left remaining. They have to go right now.
Pluto's found two, though. Eventually traded back. Elements 1v3. Can't get into the bomb site. And Enterprise locking down that basement. Second successful defense. And they've won 3 rounds now to just Man LFO's 1 on the most attacker-sided map in the game right now. Doesn't bode a very good sign here for Man LFO.
That's a very good point. I didn't even think about that. It's very much attacker's paradise, and they're struggling. And I think it comes down to the fact that they're not really being allowed to execute. Look, they opened the hatch at 54 seconds left. The moment they open the hatch, they lose player by peeking that exact same hatch. So they don't get to go 5v5. They never cleared server stairs. They didn't get server control until way late into the round. And then while their teammates only just entered server, you had Pluto sprinting down the main stairs through a Goyo fire to get 2 picks. So it's like Man LFO are operating on 2 different areas. One is saying, wait. And the other one is saying, no, we have to go, come on, guys. And it's this awkward in-between where they're going so slow that they have no time to execute, but then so fast that the execute isn't being done correctly, and it's just a mess of a round. It really comes down to, if you have a basement roam clear, you have to spend no more than half the round at roam clearing the map. And ideally, if you spend any more than 1 minute 30 seconds, so half the round, you'd want to get a kill for your efforts.
Yeah.
You cannot spend 2 minutes, not get a kill, and then realistically have a good shot to win the round. This is not going to happen.
No. It's hard when your plan A is to have someone on that A hatch. So you don't expect to lose a fight by playing on that hatch. So I think it's credit to Enterprise. Obviously, they know how to play this disruptive play style. And getting that kill from the hatch made a hell of a lot of difference. So credit to Bappen. Credit where credit is due. Hunter on the Ash, man. That's an unusual sight to see. He's looking to try and hunt down Jigsaw. Mikasa down here inside of Tellers at the moment.
Speaking of boost spots, there's one right here.
Oh my god, Jigsaw! Holy shiza! Hunter just got absolutely deleted. That's an Alt F4 if you ask me. Brings out the SMG-11 again. About to get double swung. Beers gets him. But man, the mental warfare there. Look, technically the trade is probably worth it for Man LFO. You've taken down the Solas, you've got the map control, and you only lose the Ash. Not the end of the world, but man.
See down the top frag here as well. But the mental warfare, right? Like, Hunter's got to be tilted off that one. So now, step 2, get the verdant janitors, limit the positions that they can play in. Seen that one before, it's a very nice little angle. Problem will still be the Clash. They only have, what, 1 frag grenade that can somewhat do something with the Clash. They have no
2 sets of EMPs.
Oh, okay, they have EMPs, yeah, just that.
Yeah, 4 EMPs.
Let's see how that goes.
It's not the best. It doesn't stop him from just putting the shield down and killing you. It just stops you from... or stops him from zapping you, preventing you from sprinting towards him. But yeah, the lack of Capital fire here is rough. The lobby flank, I think, is going to be, maybe not enough. I mean, because the player inside of Elevator, Bapper doesn't feel pressured at all, so he can just focus up. I like this, though, from Pluto. He's actually going to try and go for a plant. This will definitely be heard. A spray now from Brendo. Beers has also fallen on his lobby flank. What is going on? It's not enough here for EP to deny the plant, and Sharky will take down Aaron. As Tuhan tries to pick, he will fall. Elements and
With the
Sharky
Clash
both
Shield,
on
they
the
could
repel.
one-arm.
This is very winnable here. There's no explosive util to deal with that Clash Shield. You're absolutely right.
No.
If you send one player lobby, you get Kyra to put down that Clash Shield and go for the defuse. There is very little to no way for Man LFO to win this. And they do spray down both players here for EP. It is beautiful for Enterprise. And in round 5, well, they've just made it 3 defenses in a row. Man LFO look lost.
And like Sambo, why the Clash is so good. They did 2 things very well that round. So when the bomb gets planted, or right before, Mute communicated with the Clash, hey, we have to retake Skylight. So Clash says, let me go first. And they literally say, we're going to sacrifice the plant. It is going to go down. Mute could have just sprinted to Skylight, maybe gotten the kill, who knows. But there was Bok, Pluto, waiting for him shortly after. So Clash walks in first, also shotgun repel, and Clash blocks the bullet from the rappel player. Mute then gets the kill into Pluto and the Bok, and then it's a shotgun lifting the repel. Clash can just walk back into the bomb site, put down the shield, they flank lobby, they got the shield, third guy covers heaven. It's beautiful. It's these very small things. If Mute walks into the general hallway alone without the Clash Shield, he dies to Sharky on an upside down window rappel, no chance to fight back. So they take those 5 extra seconds it takes, sacrificing the plant, but ensuring a stronger chance of a retake. Very good stuff.
Well, that's a bit of a fortified position in the corner of open area. Deployable shield on a reinforced hatch. And that's when you just want to pick Hibana or Ace and just absolutely mess with them.
We've seen that before. I don't know if it was FaZe Clan, I think it was a Brazilian team. On Coastline back in the day, they'd reinforce the Aqua hatch and put a shield on it. And the only counter back then was the Hibana from beneath. But you would never really play Hibana on Coastline back then because people were like tricking the triple ones and shooting it from like the courtyard windows and stuff. So there was like nothing you could do about it.
Yeah, and if you play a mute jammer on it, it'll protect it against the Hibana, but it'll also protect you against Flores drones, formerly against Grim, you know, against any other gadgets that would, you know, Dokkaebi, for example.
Does depend when. So there was a time where mute jammers was actually only a half sphere. They only went up, not down. So never mind. Pluto, quick, fast, double intro here. Take down Brendo and Cairo. Out of nowhere, seemingly. Just walked right in. There is no trade game, so now Enterprise much more vulnerable in this final round and a half.
But no, I pick up what you're putting down there. I know that Mute used to be a cylinder that went up from the base of the Mute jammer instead of like the sphere that it is currently. And that wouldn't have protected the hatch.
Because that was a funny thing. If you put like a jammer on an elevated position, you could drone right beneath it. But if you jumped, you get jammed mid-air to the drone hit the floor again. Kind of funny.
Now, we talked a lot about this Roni on the Mozzie, but look, if anyone's going to be able to deal damage with it, it's probably Jigsaw. Mikasa, as his name is in-game, but that's Jigsaw. 16 bullets. That's 16 kills for Jigsaw.
Very quiet round, but this is classic Man LFO. They did the same thing in Cafe. When they get that significant numbers advantage, they just slow down the game. Step 1, step 2, step 3, as they should. They can do the vert. They can pop open the hatches that are soft, and they can just have Blackbeard escort in that diffuser, or even get a kill. Sharky finds Bappin, leaving just Aaron and Mikasa left alive.
Oh, this is very hard now. Aaron, or Tuhan, as we like to call him, holding down this 90-degree angle. Great weapon to be using as well. Oh, nice pre-rip C4, but taking Jigsaw down there was imperative for Man LFO. Now it's a clutch opportunity for Tuhan, the best player in OCE last year. Can he find the 1v3? Nitro Cell in pocket. They know exactly where he is. Bit of a spray through the couch. A lot of damage, but no kill onto Elements as of yet. Unfortunately for him, though, he misses his chance with that Nitro Cell. Bit of damage onto Sharky is not enough. Grim Bees come out. It's a 3-way crossfire. Now he knows that Pluto's outside. Doesn't realize if he's on rappel or what. Bit of damage. Again, he keeps lighting up these players, but not getting the kill there. Finally, Sharky goes down. This might be possible. Pluto's going to have to jump inside. He's gone bot square. This might be possible. What? He's going to stick it.
No.
The Ninja Defuse 1v3 for Tuhan is unbelievable. What a way to send off the half for Enterprise.
Don't be sad. Don't you know that I love you only? Just be mine, and I'll be yours forevermore. Don't shed a tear, don't hang your head and cry, for no we can make it. Make it if we try. Just be mine, and I'll be yours forevermore. Let's stick together, and you will see. Come rain or come shine, you'll be happy with me. So just be mine, and I'll be yours forevermore. Don't be afraid, don't be in doubt. I'm telling you, baby, let's go out.
What's the score there, Brendo? Oh, I missed it. Bummer. What a shame.
Careful now. Careful.
Oh, man. 5-1 half on defensive bank. When was the last time that you saw that happen?
It's not just a matter of the round score itself, it's how those last two rounds were won. Top floor clash retake in like a 4v4
What?
into a a sense ban. That
makes no sense.
Hey,
Because they banned it so it won't be played, so it makes no sense. Get it?
I get it, dude. That's pretty smart of you, man. But I'm still confused by it. This round right here. I mean, how do you win this? It's a 1v4 against Blackbeard and 3 fully health enemies. He toe shots like 3 people to 1 HP and sticks the defuse.
Oh, look at the energy from him.
I mean, literally, it's 7 seconds, right? It's 7 seconds where you are holding your breath. There's no way you don't stick it if you're 2-1 because you have to. And everyone's sitting there like, please, 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 please. Woo!
Yeah, it's insane though. Like, he must be in Man LFO's heads for them not to pick.
Definitely.
Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's been a turbulent bank here for Man LFO. Honestly, there's been some things they've been doing quite well, and then even though they do them quite well, they just get turbo gapped in the individual performances. Could they have played that 4v1 better? Yeah, sure. Did they play it awfully? No, not really. Not until the post plant in the 2v1, where the counter defuse came through. But like, it's a tilter for sure. Now they're on the defense. Statistically much more difficult. Confidence in the gutter. And Enterprise feeling like they can do anything that they decide. They can take any risk that they want. Because with a 5-1 round lead, they can afford to be a bit silly with it and lose a few rounds.
And then LFO banned Monty and Sens, which leaves
a
lot of other shields up, but it also leaves Dockerby, Solid Snake, Ying. Man, Enterprise is going to pick all 3. DMR for Brendo is massive as well. The Nook DMR is huge, and as soon as Nook got the DMR, I was thinking, okay, bank garage push. DMR sounds insane, right? Late round, that's going to be hugely impactful, and you sure hope that Man LFO have stacked some Banshees or some goo mines there for that late round push. Otherwise, Brendo could tear everything apart.
Nope. Cairo gets the opening. It's only Lesion though, not the end of the world, but does make the roam clear a little bit, or the roam rather, a little bit harder to hold. Elements gets Mikasa, Solid Snakes. I would say pretty good trade if anything. Do mind here that Man LFO are playing Lesion, Vigil, Melusi. They need this roam game to be successful. They actually have Hunter go
Nice.
for rescuing on Echo. He finds the pick, had the intel off the cam.
Okay.
Oh, they're just gonna run him down.
I like it. I like the aggression here. Tuhan looks for a trade. Oh, doesn't get his opportunity. And Hunter's got the crossfire. Up to Cairo now. He's going to need to ace. There's a second kill. There's a third kill. And suddenly it looks very winnable here for Cairo. He's also got Hard Breach and a Candela. In fact, 3 Candelas still to work with. He could drop that into side. He has the defuse, but guess what? It's the Warden on the other side. Couldn't get much less lucky than that. If it was any other operator, he wins that fight. But no, man, LFO finally break what has been a bit of a streak from Enterprise. Get a second round on the board.
Yeah, I feel like EP here just kind of figuring out the level of Man LFO. Are they gonna play scared? Are they playing confident? Okay, they're playing very confident. Now we gotta change up our approach. If you ever go back to a roam clear like that, obviously a shield operator can be great. Those could be demos, those kind of roam clearing operators. Solid Snake is a great one, but you need to get in the building into a point where you can actually get valuable information off the scanner. And that's probably where I think Bank might not be the best Solid Snake map necessarily, because it's quite a big map with a lot of big rooms. Like, look at Lobby. You gotta get in there to scan anything of relevance. That's kind of what happened last round. You can't scan far enough ahead of you, so there is going to be an angle the moment you walk on in. So, tough luck. But now we see Mikasa, aka Jigsaw, attack a repick onto Deimos instead. Also means you get 2 frag grenades instead of 1.
Ooh, Lion. Lion Dockerby Deimos. That's a lot of global util. And a shield. Man. It's funny. Man LFO, when they played that top floor bomb site, they banned out the Azami and the castle. Now they go to it themselves. Azami's banned, but castle ain't. And they're not going to pick it. So I feel like EP could very much do the same thing that Man LFO did to them.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. Speaking of shield, Dokkaebi Deimos, they're all being brought after Tiger repick. Together with the Lion and the Grim. So they can stop defenders from moving with the Lion. They can constantly red ping them with the Grim if they're in a certain area. They can grenade them with Deimos and Blackbeard, and they can push them around. It is going to be miserable playing most of these positions. But that's where something I'm curious about. Beerus is on the 2-brow. Not the Aruni who can get the laser gates, but he can freeze off both the Grim Bees and the Deimos tracker instead, and start the Dokkaebi phone call actually. But he's dead. Just like that. Just rebel angle, double nade, triple nade, boom.
Yeah, now you really just consolidate your advantage, right? You got Deimos from below. You got 3 tracks still remaining. You got a Blackbeard. He can repel in when you decide the time is right. And Brendo can just sit on these windows forever, pretty much. He's got the DMR, which is perfect for creating additional lines of sight with the soft destruction. Oh my god! That is just classic Jigsaw right there. Elements obliterated. Not a single player from Man LFO has gone positive right now in this game. As soon as that bulletproof camera's been destroyed, I feel like it's just a matter of time before Enterprise look to execute. The Cairo on the Blackbeard goes down. That's a big pick. That's your safest operator to try and get in and look for a plant. That puts us at a bit of a standstill.
I mean, the issue now is how do you get inside the bomb site if you are Enterprise? I mean, if Jigsaw makes a huge play here and Jan Door, that opens up things up drastically, but other than that, your shield is gone, no more Dokkaebi calls, no more Lion scans. It's gonna be raw 50-50 gunfights. Even drone-wise, there's not a ton of drones available for the attack. So they gotta play off instinct and playing off each other's angles. Try and get these 2v1s.
Big shot. Brendo gets active. He's gotten into lobby, into Banana, and he's now tearing things up. 3 kills for Brendo. Walks straight into the bomb site. Takes a sip, checks the score of the footy, and gets back to work. It's 6 rounds now on the board for Enterprise. And match point on the verge of yet another grand final here in OCE.
I mean, out of nowhere, we're watching Janitor, watching the window repels. They're not the ones fighting the kill. It's just Brendo walking up and owning the entirety of the bomb site. Elevator, quad window room, and then of course the last player in Jan. And with that, it's going to be a Man LFO tactical timeout. It's a little bit late, one could argue, being down on match point, but better late than never. I do think that you should call it whenever possible, of course. Don't just sit there and drag out the game and just lose.
Sali needs to whip the boys back into shape. 4 match points. They're going to have to stare down now to push overtime. Then they're going to have to overcome an OT and take it to the 3rd map. The job is so far from over here. On the flip side, time for Mag to get in the voice comms for the Enterprise boys. Give them a bit of sage wisdom. But it's very chill in the Enterprise camp. Obviously, still pretty hyped up for Tuhan after his big clutch. Likely Brendo pretty hyped up as well after that big 3K. It's funny, you know, in North America they call it the mailbox position, where you just kind of have one spot you have to sit and you have to cut people off. That's essentially what Brendo's job was that round. Repel on lobby, and just be our mailbox. Just cut anyone off on the rotations, put some pressure on. And then after all, he's like, dude, I'm kind of bored. I'm going to get off this rappel and kill everyone. Walks into lobby, walks up the lobby stairs, and farms kills with the SMG-12.
Sometimes it's that easy. And it's the irony of what is needed versus what you want to do. If you have a great aimer who's on a mailbox position, just watching a flank or cutting off a rotation in the middle like he was, it's necessary, because if any defenders go there, you get a freebie, and if you cut off that rotation, the other 4 attackers have a much easier time knowing they can't get swung from that angle. But if you can just walk in and get 3 kills, that's obviously much better to do, but, you know, consistency, how often can you get those, and you want to play for your teammates and just play for yourself. Walking up and getting 3 kills, that's you playing self-centered. Holding the ankle for your teammates is playing selfless, which you need to do sometimes.
True, but I think Brendo also made the right call. You know, he needed to come in and help his teammate in another way, but you're right. It's all about the right.
It was necessary.
Yeah, exactly. Time and a place.
Like, had he done that off the rip in the 5v5, he's trolling, but after the round is a stalemate and like nobody can make a play, he has to join the boys. Otherwise, it's not gonna go anywhere.
Good info in the hallway. Oh, hello.
Oh, jump
Beers
out.
tries to go for a jump out. Very desperate look. Hunter, though, gets a good reply. And Tuhan goes down, but Brendo's gotten active with the AK-12. Look at how aggressive Sharky's getting now. He tries to retake bottom square. Hunter's doing a phenomenal job up on that top floor, though. He's taken down 2 players, even up the numbers again. And now Man LFO are wondering, do we try and commit here? Do we keep getting aggressive, or do we fall back? Because the bomb site's actually not very well fortified at all. They can't really fall back onto it. There's a lack of reinforcements. The hatch is open. And when it comes down to it, Jigsaw, Mikasa, he has the info with the Solid Snake to try and find the last remaining players in that late round.
They don't even have all the holes for rotates by the bomb set itself either, I don't think. They're kind of making the mid-round. We saw just a second ago. A spare Guikan in pocket from Sharky. That's like the 2nd time I've seen that from him. I'm a bit worried here about Man LFO's hold. Solid Snake can get so much information here. Oh, there's a player right there. Be careful. Around the corner.
I mean, Jigsaw knows...
That could be a freebie.
Yeah, he knows with 100% certainty he's tucked in this corner because he didn't see him leave. Pre-fire. On for the cross from Elements, but he gives Jigsaw a taste of his own medicine. Big wallbang headshot. Brendo needs to reply. Him and Cairo together in the 2v3. Brendo finds it. Into the 2v2, looking for another kill. Out of bullets for Brendo. But that gives enough time for Cairo to get in the building and make it a 2v1. Cairo and Brendo together will close. And the best team in this region finds themselves yet again in another grand final. 1 match away from the major.
Again, whenever the young gunners can't find the entry, it's Brendo who steps up, dude. This guy's phenomenal at reading the round, where the enemies are playing from, when to swing them. You saw in that final 2 versus 1, they were trying to time it together. Cairo had an Aruni gate on the double door, and it was going to be Brendo saying, I'm going to swing, then you can tank the Aruni gate as I take the gunfight, and we can 2v1 force it. It is such a clean way to end this game for them, and after a couple of sloppy rounds at Cafe, it was a very, very, very nice bang.
And as we expect out of Enterprise, a lot of hero moments. A couple of these players had their own round. You know, Jigsaw had his moments. Of course, Tuhan with his 1 versus 4, the Ninja Defuse clutch, and Brendo with some big impact rounds as well. This was insane. That flick through the wall from Jigsaw. Hard to forget that one, and hard to forget Tuhan's clutch as well. Man, LFO, I mean, sadly for them, that means the end of their upper bracket run, but they do have one final chance in the lower bracket final. We don't know who their opponents will be as of yet. It'll either be Rock LFO or the Chiefs, but either way, it's a long way to go for Man LFO, and definitely sad for them to not only lose their first map, lose their first series. For EP, though, well-deserved, as we expect out of the best in this region. Let's hear from the horse's mouth themselves. Brendo, we got you on the line. First of all, mate, congrats on another grand final. It just feels so right to see you back fighting in a grand final again. How are you feeling with EP? I think it's my first chance to talk to you since you joined the roster. How are you feeling with the new team?
Yeah. The new team feels great. I think we have obviously a little bit of game day nerves and whatnot, but I think once we get used to game day with this team, it's going to be unbelievable, better than any team I've been on, I think.
Wow.
Oh wow, okay, big praise. You guys have this new super team, combining some of the best parts of the Chiefs and EP situation and making this new roster, but you also have an OG. You have Magnet now as support staff. What's that been like in his advice? He was a player a long time ago at a very high level. Does he still know what he talks about, or is he kind of clueless? What's the is he a strategy guy? Is he a mental guy? What's his role?
Obviously Mag was out of the game for a little bit, but he's working really hard and he's catching up on the meta and he's doing really good work for us. But just him controlling the vibes, Mag knows how to create a team that is a dynasty, basically. He's had the most successful team OCE has ever seen. And just his guidance and leadership is really helpful for us whenever we get stuck on problems or anything.
Great bit of insight. Brendo, what's the score of the match behind you? Who are you supporting?
It's actually a good game, so can we get this wrapped up?
Alright, sorry man. I won't take you away from it. Look, last chance to just have a word. Of course, we'll see you in the grand final, but until then, I'm sure you have a lot of fans who've been waiting for a chance to hear from you, so the floor is yours.
Thanks for everyone watching. Shout out to my mum, I know you're watching right now. She supports me every week, so I appreciate it. And thank you, EP, as well.
Sick. Brendo, thanks so much for your time. Now go watch the footy.
Go watch the
game. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Absolutely classic. I didn't manage to see who was playing actually during that interview, but I wonder who he supports. I think he's a Perth boy, so maybe one of the West Coast teams. But anyway, we got one more match tonight. Pengu, I know you're not exactly across the AFL, being from Denmark. No. I don't think it's particularly popular over there, but you know what is? Rainbow Six Siege. And we've got the Chiefs making a return after their 2-0 win over Shy Academy this morning. They now go up against Rock LFO for a chance to go and face Man LFO in that lower bracket final. Gut feeling, what are you feeling for this upcoming game, Pengu?
I mean, I'm going to have to go Chiefs. I think they got some of the nerves out of the system. And speaking to Nate in the interview after their game as well, it seemed like they know what they want to do. It's the matter of making sure the players have the discipline and getting back on track whenever things don't go their way. Because they have these kinds of rounds where they throw an easy win, but after attack timeout, they look a lot cleaner. So with that experience going from match 1 into match 2 after a small break, they should have this one in the bag, I hope.
It's the classic discussion. Is it going to be the team that warmed up earlier today, or is it going to be the team fresh off? It's going to be a hard rock for the Chiefs to crack, but of course, our lower bracket elimination match is coming